so much for joining me here again today. Another live stream, another moment, another chance to just be. I'm back in a second. I'm really gonna close these doors a little bit to the side. I don't know how much it's gonna help. Test 1, 2. Maybe it just holds my peace of mind. I had a good conversation with my dad today. It feels like it's the same conversation though sometimes. It's weird. It's been weird that way for a very long time. Where I feel like he's in the same loop, the same structure, and the same pattern of feeling, doing, understanding. And it's odd sometimes. Hello, Toasty. Thank you for joining me, my beloved friend. I'm gonna light a candle, just for shits and giggles. I'm thinking about Kira Burb specifically, lighting this candle. Kira, my friend, I'm lighting this candle for you. We love you and we adore you. How are you, Toasty? How's life been treating you? How's your job situation been? How's the art been coming along? How has your trust in yourself been? Have you been, if at all, afraid of something as of late? And has this fear influenced you or pushed you in a direction that you didn't necessarily think you would want to go, but now you find yourself going anywhere? I'm really curious, my friend. I'm grateful for you, as I am for you as well, my beloved brother. A candle for Kira Burb. A candle for Kira Burb. She lights one for us all the time. And today, looking at the candle, I was like, I think I want to light a candle for Kira Burb. I'm sure she would appreciate it. Good morning, friends. Hey, Marvin. How are you doing, my friend? It's really nice to have you here. I hope you've been okay, that life has been treating you. I want to say fairly, but I feel a better word would probably be gently, right? Like, I feel life can sometimes feel like it's not really fair. And then I spend some time really thinking about it, and I'm like, maybe it is kind of fair. And then I find myself on the other side of it again, back and forth. Like yesterday's youth talk with me and Christian went over pretty well, but it was a little bit muddied, I think would be the right word to say it. I'm not exactly sure. You know what? If I'm thinking muddied, today's intention will be clarity. Clarity it is. So, to give you a rundown of what happened yesterday, we basically went to this little restaurant that's inside of a office complex, and we we went there because one of Christian's friends invited us there, Danny. We get there, and the first thing that Danny tells us upon getting out of the car is like, just have an open mind, he says to us. And instantly, if someone has to say that to me, like, like I feel I have an open mind, pretty open mind, you know. And if someone has to tell me to have an open mind, then suddenly I'm in a state of paranoia. Like, I'm not open-minded enough. You want me to be more open-minded as to what we're going to have conversations about now? And we basically started having conversations. It was a lot of it was in the vein, if you will, of anti-vax, of anti-government, anti-metaverse that's coming. And I genuinely felt like I was almost sent there to just be the opposite or the voice of reason, me and Christian. Like, I do not believe that fear is the answer. And all I saw yesterday is this fundamental slash frantic belief that there is something to be scared of, and trying to convince us to be scared of the same thing. And I was like, no. I'm not. No, but you're gonna get separated from your body, from your soul, if you're gonna get captured in the metaverse. Like, no. You literally cannot be separated. Hey, Hawaiian guy, executioner. 4 months? Has it been 4 months? It's been a long time, friend. It's so nice to have you here again. How have you been? How's life been treating you? Do you want to give me an intention? Execution. Clarity and execution. Sounds a little bit of a yikes. Clarity and awareness, maybe? I'm thinking back to where I was yesterday, the conversations we were having, and I felt pretty unpressured, if that makes sense. You know, like sometimes in a social situation, you feel pressure to believe other people's beliefs. I didn't feel that way at all. And I feel the reason I was capable of that is just from this space of calm. Calm clarity? Maybe, actually, I like that. Calm and clarity. And now there is this expectation, if you will, that we're going to be in contact. I exchanged my number because I asked for it. And I don't tend to say no to social interaction because I feel we can all learn things from one another. And I feel I am learning a lot, from this interaction that we have, even though I don't agree with the things that was said to me or the understanding that is held. It doesn't stop me from still gaining some sort of emotional or spiritual value from those conversations had. I'm smoking this joint almost to give myself power to more yesterday. I know it doesn't work that way, but still. Hey, Mammy! Thank you for joining us, my friend. Acceptance is a beautiful one, Jason. Thank you for joining us again as well. How long has it been? Genuinely, it's so nice to see you as well. Hello, my friend. Happy Friday. Hi, Mel. Hey, Mammy. It's really nice having you here. How have you been? How's the kids? How's the homeland? How is the political situation, if you want to talk about that? How are things? I feel like I'm pretty in the dark when it comes to what's going on in the outside world right now. And I'm not saying that from a place of guilt or a place of trying to not be that. It's been interesting. Who was it who said that? Was it Terence McKenna? Alan Watts? One of the two. No. Was it an artist? I can't remember now, do excuse me. But basically, he said that the less outside influence you have of the world, the more creative you're allowed to be. And it was this drawback to children and how they technically are the most creative beings that we have because they're kind of ignorant in a lot of ways to all of the BS that we have in this world. They don't have all of this societally ingrained fear about everything, about existence, about, dangers, potential dangers of be it a dog or going outside, or now technically our kids are forming this understanding that other people are dangerous as well, with this whole COVID epidemic. Other people might be sick, so stay away. It's this separation that's happening, and it's happening all over. Calling Mrs. Boot this new. Thank you, Mammy. I appreciate it. How are you doing? I'm doing well, the executioner. I'm feeling especially calm today. I did meditate before stream today, which is usually like I meditate before stream, but if I meditate just before stream, like I literally stood up from my meditation, walked over, set up the stream and started streaming. When I do that, I feel I'm almost too relaxed. Like I'm uninteresting. I'm relaxed at the point where I'm uninteresting. What was the occasion for the dinner? I'm guessing you were talking about last night. They didn't even feed us. Thursday. I'm just joking. I'm not that salty. It wasn't really a dinner. It was more a youth talk. Is the way that they kind of didn't even market it. It was literally just word of mouth. And it's about, if you will, doing more to educate people in your everyday life. That was like what this dude wanted us to start doing. I was like, huh, I wonder what I can do in my everyday life. What more can I do? Anyway, and like that was like the gist of it, Toasty. And it was a little bit of an alarming experience. You know, in one way, I was very happy to see that there are people that are thinking these things, but in another, like we were trying to bring things to his attention as well. Like Christian was talking about misinformation last night, and like this dude is like on board with misinformation. It's like, yeah, misinformation helps people think for themselves, he says to us. I'm like, that's not what misinformation does, in fact. So there was a lot of that going on Thursday, where it felt like there was a little bit of a cognitive dissonance between the things. Like I feel he was aware of a lot. He was aware more than my dad, I believe, is. And this is not, I feel like this is a pompous way of talking about this subject. But like I saw a lot of my dad in this man as well, you know, especially with like the religious stripe, and like there was things were said yesterday that just like had me raise my eyebrows. Like one of the things, for example, that was said is that as soon as you get the COVID-19 vaccine, because it's an RNA based vaccine, it changes your DNA, making your body no longer compatible with your soul. And I'm listening to this, and it's this beautiful little story, you know. I like, oh, cool, changes you. And I'm calm, you know. I'm not losing my mind. I feel like I should be losing my mind, but I'm not losing my mind. I'm just like, oh, okay. Changes your, oh, it does that. You lose your soul. And she like tells me like, oh yeah, like this she says to me, like the lady that was there with this man. She like looks straight at me and tells me, you'll see that people that have gotten the vaccine are a little bit more soulless, she says to me. Christian has had the vaccine, you know. And me and him look over at one another, you know, having peered into one another's souls very recently, just like staring back and forth to each other, looking into one another's soul, and then him being like, oh yeah, as soon as you get the vaccine, those people become soulless. And I'm like, bro, how do you think that that separation occurs? And then later in the conversation we had, he starts talking about how there could potentially be these layers to spiritual awakening, and these layers of spiritual awakening eventually reaches the layer of the Godhead, or the fundamental awakened state. And then technically all of the other awakened levels or states is encapsulated within this larger awakened state, which I in some way agree with. And then in the same breath, he tells me that we should be scared of the metaverse. I'm like, bro, do you realize you cannot be separated? It can be scary. It's a little bit of a yike sometimes, but we're literally captured right smack dab in the middle of infinity. We ask for everything and we are getting it. And we're like, oh, now what? Now that I have everything, what do I want? Why am I still searching, even though I have everything? And we trip ourselves out. And I was having this conversation, you know, it felt like I was having this conversation back and forth, and I feel like there was this recognition that this conversation was being had, but on a level, on different levels. It was confusing, both to me and to him. How to roll a joint with Jon Snow. What's up, bro? Papa Ghoul? It's nice to have you here, friend. Look at that. I mean, if this had to be a joint roll tutorial, I believe this would be a pretty good specimen. Our intentions are calm and clarity. Calm and clarity. No matter what situation you're in, if you can maintain calm and clarity within that situation, you're going to be it. You know, you're going to be happy, you're going to be, well, happy. you're gonna be satisfied, I think would be the right word. Because I remember so thoroughly yesterday, I genuinely enjoyed the entire experience. Even though, like, I was like maybe like 70, maybe like 60% of the information was directed towards me I didn't agree with, I still had a very good time. And I genuinely believe that by staying calm and clear throughout that entire experience was the only way for me to. And so I genuinely did appreciate it. All okay here. As for the outside world, you really aren't missing much. Good things happen, bad things happen. And it's in constant flux. I mean, and if we burden ourselves with too much of what's happening in the outside world, we just basically make our inside world, if you will, horrible as well. It would be terrible. I would be a terrible newsreader. Me too, man. Completely. Sounds like some youth church camp vibes. It was kind of like that. Oh, did Christian go off? We wanted to. Yo, Thursday, we went off. Like afterwards, we went off, dude. Like exploded, went off. It was a little bit hilarious. Man, I would love to have him like giving his input, but he's watching anime. Fucking loser. Common clarity. Common clarity. Hmm. My title for today is basically one talking about slash speculating around fear. Now, fear is this fundamental driver slash component to our realities, to the point where it becomes something inescapable. But it is something that we've created. Dave made a maze. Lost in a maze that you built yourself with yourself. Right where you're sitting, you're lost. Stuck in the middle of it, yet being the creator of it. Not wanting to tear it down because you love it. But here we are, friends. Aish. Yeah, Aish is what I went as well, actually. It was a little bit of a yikes to Christian go off. Bruh, I got more soul in my pinky toe than that lady has in her wildest of fantasies. Come get some. Lady is literally there. What a crazy thing to say. I do. Toasty. It killed me. And since it was Christian's friend who invited us over, and Christian's friend found out about this get together through his mom, and his mom was more closely associated with the people that wanted to give this youth talk. I was like, oh man, now I have to be, and I want to say the word respectful or calm, collected. It turns down or turns a bit chill, if you will, because I wanted to lose my mind. I was like, oh, really, dude? Like at one point, Toasty, and this was something that me and Christian actually started laughing, like properly started laughing and looked at each other. He looks at me and he tells me, like, after I basically bring my statement, my perspective. So let me give you a little bit of background. The first thing he kind of goes into talking about is how the metaverse that's coming is going to be the worst thing that's going to ever happen to humanity. We're going to have our souls stolen by these global conglomerates, and then our souls will no longer be ours. Like something in that vein, which is fundamentally impossible. Your soul is this entirety. It's gonna be stolen. How are you supposed to steal something like that? Anyway. So like he tells me this, and I basically tell him my perspective is that the metaverse is already existing. We're interfacing through the metaverse right now. We're just doing it through limited means. We have these cellular devices and we use our little meat sticks to communicate or our voices to communicate with one another. The metaverse exists, just the way we interact with it is limited at this point in our timeline, if you will. So it's impossible. It's absolutely impossible to try and destroy the metaverse. And he was like going into vibes like that. So not only is it impossible to destroy the metaverse, but I believe it's fundamentally important for us as creators to be a part of this metaverse and to be the shapers of the worlds we would like to see in that kind of existence. Not to be a puppet to whatever is going to be catered to us, but to actually be the curators, the creators of experience in those type of spaces. And I was bringing this perspective to them. And then he looks me dead in the eye, Toasty, and he tells me, if you have ever experienced your true soul, you know that you don't want to do that. He says this to me, Toasty. And I look at him, bro, and I look at Christian. Christian starts laughing. And I look back at him, and I'm like, I've experienced soul, dude. Like there's a reason I'm doing what I'm doing. There's a reason I'm saying these things. You know, I believe that fundamentally the creation of more experience, potentially preferably good experience with other human beings, is of utmost importance. You creating this fear mongering idea slash understanding of what this thing that doesn't even that you're actively using already, you know, is going to bring in our future. Fear is so stupid, man. It doesn't make sense. G Unit! I mean, definitely not. G Unit! It's nice to have you here, my friend. Yes, let's smoke. Thank you for joining me, dude. It's been a while, so I'll smoke with you for calm and clarity. Huh. Calm and clarity. Yeah. Yeah. I ain't got the resolve to not say something along toasty. I felt like I was going to like level 2 Zen or something in that moment. I was like, oh, this is what it feels like to have the ability to explode and yet to stay consolidated. I was like, oh, I am so Zen. Look at me, super calm. I'm in the midst of crazy. Oh, I'm just being dramatic. No, it wasn't really that way. It was, I don't know if it was a high resolve thing. I genuinely just think it was because it was people that I've met for the first time. Like if me and this person have had this conversation like 5 times and he knows me and he knows my quips, if you will, then I'll go off on him. I'll be like, bro, no, 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 freaking DNA changes, so your soul is no longer compatible with your body, dude. Like I never in my life did I think I would ever hear those words. It's very interesting. Oh, there's all not to say anything. Me too. That makes sense why you behaved. It was that way, definitely toasty. I was like, I had to try and keep my resolve. Metaverse. It's already here. It literally this Reddit, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, you add whatever site you frequent here, that's already part of the metaverse. The way we're interacting with it just happens to be in these slices, these slides of two-dimensional information. Technically, we can build a metaverse that is literally a physical place that you can go and visit. You know, you can come and visit me, or at least what I would want to represent as me. I'm gonna do that, definitely. Imagine, just like, okay, so this is one of the ideas I had today in meditation, where I was like thinking, if we're going into this future and we're already technically participating in the metaverse right now, what is going to be the next step of this? And the way that I was interpreting it was kind of creating an actual virtual space in which Meltmore basically happens. And then in this space, virtual space, there can be rooms to be at every single piece of art that I make. And you can go and walk through that. Technically, each of them can be available for purchase if you want as well, if you want to go that far. You can have whole curated experiences. Like, for instance, I've gone on this adventure, did this thing, did this thing, did this thing, went to this planet, had this conversation. You can curate that as an experience for someone to kind of have themselves if they wanted to. You can build an entire environment around like this, where you can kind of go and walk into another room or into self-duplicating rooms or into a revolving room that has different states of rooms in it, you know, potentially patterns on the walls, potentially nothing on the walls, potentially a beautiful nature scene, potentially complete desolate wasteland. And being able to go through these experiences in a very visceral slash personal way, while still being able to, if you wanted to, listen into, you know, the Milkmore stream, and then also being able to physically sit in on the stream with me, being in the same space as me, being able to communicate with one another in a one-on-one way as well. And we're doing it. We're just doing it very limited right now. Technically, think about it. Like genuinely, think about it. Like think about what Instagram is. Could be like a whole room within which all of your little photos are. Think about what your like Reddit is. You know, all of the stuff that you like, your name, the content you choose to produce and then share. It's literally you creating the space within which people can join you. Kath Cathartic killed it. Cathartic killed it. Thank you, Cathartic. I'm sorry for butchering your name again, my friends. Nice to see you again. Hope you have a great day. Can't stay for long, but I wanted to pass some energy. Oh, thank you so much. Sending you energy back, my friend. I appreciate you. Isn't that kind of like Total Recall? I don't think I've seen Total Recall, but it might be, I guess. I mean, I don't think I'm the first one to ever think of these ideas. I'm planning on how I'm actually going to implement them once I have the tools to do so. We use our meat sticks to communicate. Lamar, what? You just did it! The freaking G unit. You're like pressed buttons, dude. Pew, 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 pew. Meat stick communication, bro. Thank you for exerting all that effort. Hey, thank you for joining us, my man. It's so nice to have you here. Not that many people here, and I have to say, not that many people here. Yeah, G Unit has been pretty calm as of late. We've had a lot of time to get pretty deep into conversations. We don't rush ourselves. We'll spend more time actually breathing, becoming aware. Cathartic says, you used to call me Kartha. When I first stopped in, Kartha means lord or legend. I'm not man, but mere myth. Kartha, I like that. Thank you, my lord. I appreciate you, friend. I hope you have an amazing day as well. Red Liquor, love you as well, my friend. Thank you for joining us. It's really nice having you. How have you been? How's life been treating you? Are you joining me for a smoke? It is Friday, right? No. Woo. Technically, we're going to a birthday party tomorrow. I haven't been to a birthday party in forever. Especially a lot of strangers. Oh goodness. Thank you, Kartha. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you sharing this space with me so we can have this moment together. Wish me luck. Wish me luck. I'm gonna have to put on my normal face. Yes, I am a functioning human being. Like at one point last night, this dude we were having a conversation with, I was talking at us mostly. He looked at me and he told me, "You are switched on." Like he was like, "Oh, you're switched on," type of thing. And it was flattering, you know, in the moment. But then as soon as the flatter went away, and I was like, I don't, I'm barely surviving, barely surviving, like fucking holding on for dear life, barely a functioning member of society. Thank you, thank you, but no, actually no. Trying trying to find wherever that switch lies. Have you messed around in VR chat? I forgot. I haven't yet, actually, Toasty. I haven't, like just yet. I'm very curious. You know, and a friend of mine, I was thinking about it a lot, especially today. A friend I used to have recommended that I get myself a Valve Index. I just feel I want to wait for the tech to be better. a little bit better, dude. Like, I would be so happy if we could have like maybe 4K, 120 FPS per lens, and really good body slash hand tracking. Maybe facial expressions as well. Then I'd be sold though. But it's gonna be so expensive. I mean, I'm gonna be sold on wanting one, but I'm not gonna be sold on actually being able to afford one just yet. But we'll get there. Like again, Thursday, I believe that this is genuinely gonna be a whole new world in which we get to create things. You know, and that's what is more important to me about than anything. It's cool and all to be able to experience an entire world, and a lot of people are going to see it as a way of trying to escape. But if you are trying to create, I feel that's going to be the differentiating factor is going to make it something real. Sending social energy. I ain't got much left after Thanksgiving. Ooh, goodness. Ooh. Oh, I didn't think about common clarity. And as soon as I read the word Thanksgiving, man, like I'm guessing it must have been a little bit of a mission again, Toasty, a little bit, at least with some of the stuff that I know, and knowing what you know and what we believe and how we believe it and how it applies to every single other being that we spend our time with as well, and then them being confused as to how we have that understanding of reality, and then them being our family members. You know, and like this is something that came up so clearly yesterday, where we were having this conversation about this dude's approach, if you will, and his belief that he was in some way going to change us, influence us with his way of understanding his belief system. And then I like literally looked over to Christian and I told him, dude, my family. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, my family loves me to bits. You know, like I have a very loving family. My family absolutely adores me and loves me. I cannot change them. I cannot change them. The stuff I believe, the way I understand things, I cannot make them believe that. It's impossible. So, if these people that fundamentally love me more than anything in the world won't be like swayed, if you will, won't be shifted, how can you ever expect to try and change another person? The only way that you can ever hope to influence another person is through your own behavior. And as soon as you realize that, you you calm down. And you can get super anxious as well, but I try to calm down. Like it's this anxiety of like, oh shit, and then oh shit, I need to stay calm. That type of anxiety. Bro, it's going to blow your mind. It's exactly what you're talking about. I don't use it in VR. It's still cool. I mean, you can use it on a normal computer screen, right? I'm guessing. Maybe I should actually start dabbling, if you will, Toasty. Yeah, you're right, dude. You're absolutely right, man. It's a trip. It's a trip, Toasty. Like we're building something, we're creating opportunities, we're developing careers that literally don't exist right now. And I genuinely believe that creativity is going to be the new currency of the future. Creativity and sociability. That's going to be the only thing that's of value going into our future, because we already have, you know, on a generalized level, solved all of our problems when it comes to comfort. We've solved these problems, you know. So as soon as these problems become so solved, and these problems got solved too quickly, and then there was these entire like senses of scarcity basically artificially created to keep us in the system a little bit longer. But going into the future, you know, fundamentally finances aren't going to be the most valuable thing in the world. Because if you can literally build yourself a house out of light, why are you going to be so concerned about having one in a physical plane of existence? You know, it makes economical sense as well, and it gives me already like Ready Player One vibes, if you will. But we're already living in that reality. You know, most, I think something like 70%, like I might be wrong, please do correct me. I think 70% of the human populations live in cities right now. So we're already living in these smaller spaces, let's call them apartments, instead of a big, luscious house with a garden and so on. Let's take those comparisons. Let's say in our societal understanding of what success is, having that house with the big garden and yada yada yada, that is not you being successful, and you staying in an apartment is you now being unsuccessful. At least that's how it's portrayed sometimes. So it's already that way for 70% of people living in this on this planet right now. And it's getting worse. More and more people are moving into the cities because that's where the most job opportunities are, the most resources are, the most potential for social interactions are as well. So going into our future, the only potential way for us to make these experiences slash spaces larger is to do so through our minds. And we already do that. For instance, a great recommendation for someone that lives in a small apartment in the middle of the city is to meditate. Because you're literally allowing space within inside of yourself. And that spaciousness translates into your entire existence. And it's technically what we're doing with this technological age as well. We're creating an entire reality, a space, and it's accessible through this device that you're using right now. And it's bonkers. It's a bit much sometimes, And to think that that is something that's bad or dystopian, it's much, but I don't think it's dystopian. I believe it's this fundamental call out, is that the word? Indication, maybe, to our creativity and our imagination and our curiosity beings. And as kids, we're only that. We're only those things. And then as we grow up, we have to almost park them. They have to become secondary. Let's go explore. You'll probably meet a couple of furries, though. They are pretty chill. I don't mind furries. I mean, there's a difference between I think they're called zoophiles and a furry. If you're a furry, you do you, boo. Zoophiles hurt animals, so that's not okay. Again, it's pretending, Toasty. It's all pretending, dude. We're pretending. And we're so good actors. Man, we're convincing. I convince myself all the time. But we're playing a game, we're acting. Playing a game sounds a little bit contrived. Makes it sound a little bit evil. It's not a game as in a malicious thing or something that you're competing with. It's more you setting up a puzzle for yourself, if you will, and then choosing to forget how to navigate the puzzle and then trying to navigate the puzzle. That's like an analogy for life, if anything is. It's difficult to engage in a hostile society. It is, Red Vicar, it really is. And weirdly enough, hostile people are even more likely to go into societal spaces, if you will. You don't have to go looking that far to find another person that's hostile. And I think that's also why we're, contracting away from those spaces. And it's more difficult than ever to genuinely find people that we can resonate with as well. I agree, I function best in small groups. I agree with that as well, actually, Toasty. Like no more than 5 people in the immediate group if I'm going to try and actively give attention and, love, if you will, to every single person. Because otherwise you just feel fractured. Maybe that's the right word. I hear that, Toasty. I socially function best in groups of less than 4, but getting lost in a crowd is also relieving. It can be. It genuinely can be, especially if you're dancing together. Then the crowd experience can genuinely be amazing. But on that like less than four thing, I think the most comfortable I am is with like a one-on-one experience. It can be a little bit intense for most people because I feel like I'm usually very intrigued and I ask questions that might be a little bit personal in nature. And as a result of that, having more than just the other person there can be a little bit of a barrier to that conversation. And then on top of that, it also feels like the other person might not be comfortable with or ready for conversations like that sometimes. And it's nice to have you here, Jovan. Genuinely, thank you for joining us, my friend. Have you been? Beep boop, hi. Been running around a ton. You want to tell us about it? Is there anything else that's changed? I'm like, as soon as you said you were running around, I was imagining you between your job, your apartment, your family, and Zoe. I was imagining like everything that's now going into the fractal that is Jovan's life to make it function as it is. You know, we can add these entire new elements, modes of existence to our realities. And we always ask ourselves, how are we going to do it? How are we going to do it? Oh, how am I going to do it? Oh, are we going to be able to do it? Oh, I don't know if I'm able to do it. And then we do it. And then we're like, oh, seems we could do it. That's good. But can we do this other thing? Maybe we can do this other thing. How are we going to do it? Oh, could I do it? Oh, I don't know if I can do it. And we go around and around and around. And I wonder, you know, I genuinely wonder if we're going to be able to do that on a physical humanity level for that much longer. Like, will we be curious about the material properties of this universe if we start constructing our own realities? I believe maybe AI will teach us a bunch of shit about our reality before we completely go singularity, maybe. Lol, that's my favorite Mel voice. Dude, I wish I knew what you were talking about right now, Toasty. Like, I'm spacing, dude. Did I make a voice? Did I make a voice like me? How you gonna act? Blushing? How you gonna act? It's nice to have you here, Fred. Thank you for joining us. Oh, I feel put on the spot of that question. Well, today's intention, at least the intentions we've written on this joint, is to have calm and clarity. I saw a lotus. Calm and clarity is how we want to act, blushing. At least in this moment. You know, at least I'm saying this moment, but I feel that this moment technically permeates throughout our entire existence, right? Being calm and clear, no matter where you are. I mean, maybe in a romantic way, it might be a little bit of a turn off if you're just in a state of calm and this other person is trying to be in a state of arousal. So maybe there, you know, you can switch it off. But being just calm and comfortable as well, maybe calm, clear, and comfortable. The three C's. Very important. I love to confuse you. I love it as well, Toasty, because it genuinely feels like you're creating this rip little fractal in my mind, and then I'm like trying to find wherever the fractal goes, and it's like this, and I'm like trying to fit this little piece of into the bigger piece of. I'm like. Let's go here. That's basically the gist of it. That's the point of the question. Calm and clarity. Breathe it in. Thank you so much, Blushing, for joining us. How are you, my friend? What do you... How are you gonna act? There we go. How are you gonna act? I want to hear that from you as well. Toast the energy for the win. I spent 12 years inside a virtual reality game called Second Life, and it actually twisted my ideas of reality. I don't recommend it to anyone. I actually know about Second Life, Red. You spent 12 years in Second Life? would you be willing to share your interpretation of reality and how it has shifted as a result of your Second Life experience? Do you feel you started losing your sense of value for this reality? Like, please, Red, I would love to hear more. Yo, 1v1 me right now, Emu. You would win, dude. Emus are dangerous, bro. Like, I can see, though. Lifts hands, gets fucking knocked out by an emu. Or maybe like a roundhouse kick or something. Yeah. Yeah. Pecks me a bunch of times, my unconscious body. Well, being too much, you win, friend. Now can we hug each other? Forgive one another. I love you, friend. Thank you for joining us. Can you I'm guessing, expound on your experience? I'm very curious as well. How do you spell? What the fuck, dude? Like my brain is like, yes, we're gonna read now. Yes, read. Now we're gonna read. I've done it. I feel like I just summoned the demon. That's very intense. Wow. I'm really curious, actually. I'm very, very curious about like Red Clicker's experience. Because it is going to be like the Second Life thing. I mean, I don't like the Second Life thing, just in general, because it feels like you're already separating yourself just with the naming convention of it. I feel it should just be the internet still. You're just going to use the internet. Just the meaning of that word is going to be encompassing of other experiences, larger experience potentially. But fundamentally, these experiences we get to have, especially the social experiences we get to have with one another, those are the fundamental important ones. And I think that is what we have to hold on to. Like Red Clicker, I'm really curious. You. Much love to you as well, my friend. I stumbled upon Second Life and I didn't know what it was. I lived a few different lives there. It pulled me away from my real life and I became addictive like any other addiction. Okay, I get what you're saying in that case, right? Whew. Hmm. So I feel, and this is just me like speculating from my naive perspective, the real answer to all of this, if we're going to be healthily integrating this into our realities, is going to be moderation, respect, and then, non-addictive behavior, if you will. And I genuinely believe like taking care of you, not even your reality, just taking care of you, even if you're going to be in spaces like this. And we like, I'm just thinking back to my lockdown period in China, where I was literally spending the entire day inside, eating junk food, not exercising, spending time either on the internet or playing games. And I gained so much weight and I felt so horrible. And then I was eating more because I felt horrible, and I gained so much weight. And then I was eating horrible foods, so my mind was foggy. And then because my mind was foggy, I felt like I was losing my edge, and because I was losing, and it's just this neglect. It's a fundamental neglect of what you are. As soon as you start neglecting yourself, your experience becomes neglectful, if you will. Right? So I think the most important part, or the most important thing that we have to remember, is just that we have to have balance, especially when we're going to be like it's not like we can escape, but that's the thing, right? We're doing it right now. It's not our Second Life, it's our real life. That's the thing. It's experienced through a new medium. Not a second one, a new one. Oh, Red, you're killing my brain. It's melting into a mush. What I miss? Oh, G Unit. I don't know how long you've been away, friend. Potentially a lot, potentially nothing. So you never know here. Hey, Red, don't mind me. No, it's a noise you made. Dude, I don't know. I don't know, Toasty. Like you're bamboozling me, man. Maybe the weed is kicking my ass. Yes, I'm gonna use this excuse. Hello, weed. Please stand in line for me. Take the blame. The noise you made, nerd. I got busy here and I missed a bit. It's okay, Mammy. You look a lot like Heath Ledger. Thank you, friend. I'm still waiting for my call from DC. Yeah, call from DC to play the Joker. I'm not even joking about that. I would fucking adore playing Joker. Man, that character, I feel is such a contrast to who I believe I am. So being in a position where you can pretend to be something you're not, radically pretend to be something you're not, I think would be such a cool experience. Hope you are keeping well. Thank you so much, Jovan. Oh, eat red meat. Hello, my beautiful friend. Human strugglers. Don't struggle, my friend. We push. Right, Christian. We don't struggle. We push.
I struggle. What happens across the struggle? Existence is pain.
Christian, I've told them a little bit
Of what?
about what happened last night, dude. And when I say a little bit, I mean more than a little bit.
Oh. He's gonna, like, he's probably gonna follow you. He's gonna see these videos.
I want him to see.
Yeah.
I want him to listen.
What have you said?
I've said a bunch of things, bro. I told him about the whole your soul no longer being compatible as soon as you take the vaccine. Like most of the conversation has been about the metaverse topic, and how the fear fundamentally is the thing that is separating us from the potential to the fear, and then maybe the neglect of. And like that is something he said, like not to make it a trivial or a light subject, if you will. It is a serious one, nonetheless. Red says Red Clicker actually had account or active playtime on Second Life for 12 years.
Whoa.
Yeah. So she's had the metaverse experience, if you will, at least in some type of flavor. She's saying you can live and do anything in Second Life that you can in real life. Marriage, work, live, dance, have babies. So people go to that world to fill voids. I completely get that, Red. And it's going to be the same with the metaverse as well. There's going to be the potential to fill those voids. But I believe what's important is for us to actually have the opportunity, or I think the opportunity is the right word, to help people in that scenario, in that case, where they believe they need to fill their voids with fake friends, fake marriages, whatever, if you will. And then you can actually, be there for them, actually be there for them. Oh, the Reddit isn't letting me comment. Tell friends I love them. Jovan loves you. Loves you as well, Christian.
All of fucking love, bro.
Christian says he loves you as well. Don't you sit here with me?
Y'all.
Like we have a few minutes left. Like maybe a bit.
I'm not dressed in my people outfit.
Yeah, he's literally wearing clothing. He's wearing clothing. Just some clothing.
Mahalo.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you. That Mr. Rogers stream last night caught me hard in the feels. I think one of our friends actually streams the Midget Rogers streams on the Haywire Hill as well. Playing those type of games, release chemicals that we crave. That's what you have to be aware of. Everything releases chemicals that we crave, Red Liquor. And you are right. You have to be aware of it. Like you can be addicted to pretty much anything. Being aware of that and still being responsible with that power over yourself is what's important. I only have 14 hours in VR chat and I felt a slight addiction for me too. Like any new game, but I don't know, games like that just hit different. They are so immersive. I'm curious about VR chat now, dude. Because technically you can use it just on your normal computer. Oh no, my phone's on 10% battery, better charge the phone. I'll get my laptop so I can keep listening to you. Oh, thank you, Mammy. Really appreciate you, my friend. Mammy has a beautiful family of her own. She lives in Ireland.
Oh, bet one of my best friends wants to go live in Ireland. I've heard it's a wonderful place. Not in Not in some ways.
It's
Many others.
It's nice in a lot of ways, at least. Sounds frightening. How were you able to leave it? Then Fred Rogers looked into the camera and says, "It's you I like, just the way you are." My God, I was in tears. It's true. Eat red meat. You don't have to do anything else. You are enough. Oh, Christian's honesty is endearing. You're getting people say.
It came in for a last clap just before the end of the video.
I still go to see a person that I have known there for years, but I go days without going in. I have broken the addiction. I'm very happy to hear that, Red Liquor. It's about balance, you know, and it's about balance of anything. If you're going to be smoking weed or
Sometimes you
drinking
gotta know the
alcohol,
consequences for the things you decide to be addicted to.
and be
In fact, actually, all the time. You should know all the time for the things you decide to be addicted to. At least know what you're signing into. At least understand it.
and don't pretend like you're, you know, either a victim to it or that you're not doing it on purpose.
And if you're gonna do it anyway, you know, then you made the decision with the knowledge of the repercussions in mind, and can't feel guilty for that.
So it's interactive to other users. I believe it's a whole new, like, actually, as they say, second life. Just remembering Dwight and Jim in The Office having a second lives, and Dwight's second life was actually exactly the same as his real life. Yeah, to the T. Literally works the same job, dude.
Amazing.
That's Dwight, bro. Dwight was my favorite character. Was he? Yeah, maybe. Actually, I think Dwight might have been my favorite character of that show, bro. Now, just how much marijuana did you smoke? Oh, Jim. There are approximately 50K there at any given time. There are maybe 11 million total, yes? It's full of people at all times from all countries. 50K people at all times active in Second Life. It's pretty crazy, actually. You teleport to different
It's
lands.
kind of scary.
There are clubs, homes, worlds,
Kinda
countries, people.
scary.
Is it scary? We literally talked about fear yesterday. You, do you want to see what my title for today's stream is?
Sure.
It's something about fear.
Alright.
What is scary about it?
Okay, there's nothing scary
You
about
do
it.
realize there's actual.
No, there's nothing scary about
There
it.
is actual sex dungeons on planet Earth, dude. Places where people go to get sex dungeoned. That's scary.
Real life is real life, bro.
That's just fucking scary, Christian.
I thought you were not supposed to be afraid.
I'm not afraid.
Stop being afraid.
I don't
Don't be
wanna-
afraid of
I-
the German sex dungeon. What's wrong with them?
Bro, my delicate sensibilities cannot handle. You teleport. Whoa. Who's this dude? This dude is a Christian.
I'm nobody. I ain't nobody.
You didn't see anything. He's Christian, my friend. Aminor, the boy wolf.
But
Hints, dude, dropping. Coming
foreshadowing.
soon, foreshadowing in the story. I've sang the Mr. Rogers theme song to my children every night at bed for years. Wonderful man he is. Wonderful man you are for singing to your kids at bedtime, my friend. That's beautiful. I'm so happy you get to spend that time with them as well. Wonderful. It's such a beautiful tune and so wholesome. I don't actually know the Mr. Rogers.
Me neither.
I don't think it's something we had in South Africa that much. I'm going to start Swell's Powerful. Holy smokes. There was a heavy consequences for the time I took away from my family. So yes, it's important to know what's out there so you are prepared. I genuinely agree with you, Red Liquor. Red Liquor has had, you know, a family of her own as well. So she's been, I want to say, doing this, if you will, for the last 12 years, having kids in her house at this or during this period of time as well. So you mentioning that the consequences that you suffered was time that got took away from your family.
It's hardcore, man. Something to think about. The most important thing we have is family in this life. Family we choose, family we're born with. And even then, sometimes you gotta let go of the family you were born with. Depending on the scenario.
Yeah, there's also no guilt in doing that either. Especially if you're taking care of yourself in doing something like that. But it's a difficult one, it's like in itself as well, dude. there's always going to be that uncertainty / awkward, if you will, nature to that, because now
Look, it's been
suddenly you're in a
happening.
family.
It's been happening since the millennials, where video games have really taken over the sort of like fun thing to do as a kid.
Yeah.
You know,
It was
it used to be
different.
run around and play tag with your friends.
Play Cowboys and Crooks. Play marbles.
You know, beat the neighborhood nerd. That was a joke. That was a joke.
Oh, I didn't ever like fight kids, fortunately, but I would pick kids up for some reason because I had a growth spurt when I was in grade 7,
Two.
so I was significantly bigger than most of the other dudes.
I was the exact opposite. I was the tiny little shit getting.
So like,
but
what would happen is I would
Okay.
literally be standing in line behind him, and then suddenly I would just grab him by his ribs and then lift him into the air and then drop him. Like nobody ever got hurt, but it was quite a shock to the system. Might have not been exactly appropriate either, but we do stupid shit when we're fucking 13, don't we? Can we see your friend's face? He's hiding his face. I mean, I could grab him by the hair and pull him in, but
jij kan proberen.
he does what he does.
Expose
Absolutely
them.
love it. Sex dungeon. I'm happy you fucking caught on to that one, Toasty. I love you, man. Can we see your friend's face? There we go. Look at this beautiful man. See him. Witness. Hire him for modeling work right now. It's such a good feeling to know you're alive. Toasty, it's good to be alive here with you, man. Genuinely. Genuinely. It's very hard for time is so precious. It can only be spent once. So red liquor, that is something.
That is a very difficult idea to stick by.
Time is only something you get to spend.
It is
once.
something that we have convinced ourselves of. That is it. That this is the only
exists.
life we have. That this is, and we should live it that way.
Yeah,
We
it
should.
helps
That's
living it
why
that
we
way.
convinced ourselves of it in the first place. Is we need to believe that this is the only life we have, so that we do always live it to the fullest.
We like a story in that way.
Always.
Whew. But yeah, I believe, we believe, I would say even, that we've done this many, many times.
Well,
Many.
it's crazy talk.
Yeah, of course, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Like, we don't know anything. Fundamentally, we don't know jack shit.
We're aware it's crazy talk, but there have been theories of reincarnation for many, many thousands of
For
years.
way longer than we've existed.
And those are the teachings that they give you, you know, they're like you're reincarnated. And you know what, biologically, they're not exactly wrong. The information your DNA contains is being constantly passed on,
updated.
merging with others, evolving forwards. There are cases where a child is born with like blue eyes in an Indian family, you know, and it's from hundreds of years ago. You had some sort of ancestor where his great-great-great-grandpappy was some Dutch dude with blue eyes.
You got blue-eyed a bit.
And suddenly, like a couple of generations down, they got blue eyes.
Yeah, it's possible.
Why is that happening?
Dude, it's even possible to go...
Sure, the chances are incredibly unlikely.
It's unlikely, but it's literally the same thing for like skin pigmentation, dude. Like you can literally have another like race's skin pigmentation gene, and then that gene can get expressed in your child, even though both of you might be of another race.
Like, how cool would it be if we got red skin? Like, I know some people are just naturally red out there, but I mean like dark, like
I would-
crimson.
I would go
red
purple
skin.
instead of before I go red.
Okay, you can go purple, but I'm just saying, you know, like if we could.
Like if it all looked red, they would all look sunburnt as fuck, dude. We would just be like, bruh, what have you been doing?
Maybe red with like yellow eyes and I don't know, black hair.
Bro,
Or-
sunburned jaundice. Jaundice? What's it called? That fucking liver disease where you get yellow eyes? Jaundice?
No, I don't want to know.
Sunburned jaundice.
Liver failure.
Oh man, like I'm imagining you being completely like blood, like shining, glowing red with like yellow eyes, dude. And you're just looking like Satan incarnate in my mind.
It's like, you devil. It's like, no, bro, I'm just sunburned. I've been drinking a lot lately.
Maybe stop. Family chooses. Oh goodness.
Oh,
Wait a second. Let me see. There we go. It's such a good
That's
feeling.
go down.
Hardcore. Okay. It's you I like. It's not the thing you wear. It's not the way you do your hair. But it's you I like. The way you are right now. The way deep down inside you. Not the things you hide you. Not your toys. They're besides you. But it's you I like. Eat red meat. That's beautiful, my friend. Thank you
I
so
just
much.
have a reply to that. I hate throwing a wrench into the works a lot of the time, but if you wanna be with someone, love ain't enough, honey. Love ain't enough. You're gonna need a little more. And that's the truth we live in right now. And I hate it. If anybody hates it, it is I that hates it, because it should be that love is enough. It is not. In this day and age, love ain't enough, honey. To make it work with somebody, you need some special circumstances.
You know what? I'm gonna skim over that. Pretend it didn't happen. Live in my own bubble, my illusion. Oh, love!
I'm not saying you can't find love. I'm just saying that it's not the only thing that makes things work.
There's a lot of variables, which is a very good point, Christian. I agree completely.
People live on different levels, bro, and if they don't see you on their level, you will never be with them.
Yeah, you don't exist like literally in a conceptual universe with them. Family we choose, definitely. I agree completely. Shelly! For A's. Beat the neighborhood nerd, lol. The kid are calling it nowadays. Christian is just an absolute psychopath. Like,
That's
there's
not
no
true.
excuse. And did you already talk about how you chose the topic today? I think I did, Shell, but I can mention it again. Basically, yesterday we went to a youth talk, and they brought some of them, you know, a little bit of the kooky arguments of the vaccine.
One dude was from Atlantis.
Yeah,
That was pretty cool.
he's from Atlanta.
It was pretty cool. Like, this is such a difficult topic to talk about because he is a human being and he deserves his own opinion. And he's gotten to this point in his life where he believes these things, truly believes these things. And who am I to argue against them? Who am I to say that he is wrong? I do not know. I possibly know, so I don't try.
But he's from Atlantis.
But he's from Atlantis.
And the metaverse, he's seen it. He's seen the metaverse millions of times before, and every time it was bad or something, the Kabbalion or whatever, they had a supercomputer. Like, there was some contrived stuff happening.
There were a couple of moments where
So, just before you go on,
you have to.
like, it's on that shell, like, that's why I chose the topic for today. Like, it's because of the conversations we had last night.
So, it's so bloody difficult to know who to believe these days, because this man raves to me about how my soul will rip out if I take the vaccine. I already had taken the vaccine at that point, and he was basically telling me I was doomed. So I have no soul, according to his argument. Well, my soul has been stripped a little bit more from me, rather.
Yeah, your soul is no longer compatible with your body because of your DNA change.
So
Dude, like, tell Toasty. Toasty is like, he's surprised that we didn't go off on this dude. Like, we were so conservative.
you have to respect people. You have to respect people. You cannot go off on someone for him sharing with you some of his deepest personal beliefs. I mean, that could mean everything to that guy, and I go and rip it apart for him. I will be an asshole. That is an asshole move. That is not cool, bro.
The intentions I said today, Christian, is calm and clarity, dude. And that's basically what we were doing as well. We were not, what's the word I'm looking for, bamboozled by the information that was being presented. We were pretty clear in our own understandings, and we were just calm. You know, we weren't combative. We didn't want to create a stir, but we did ask good questions. We asked a lot of good questions. So yeah, I just think, you know, if you can maintain calm and clarity within any social situation, you'll be better off for it. Y'all fell down the beautiful gene tree and hit every fucking track. Kyle, don't you start.
No, you.
No, you. Like, you know,
No, you.
dude. Like, I'm gonna show you a picture of Kyle. He's a
Is he-
he's a drop
is he
dead
hot?
garbage, bro. Yeah, he's been hitting those branches as
Oh,
well.
that's so sweet.
Slav, thank you for joining us as well, my friend. Hey, mate, happy Friday to you and your
Slav
friends.
from Down Under.
Slav
Is that
from
a
Down
Russian
Under.
man in Australia? That would be pretty cool, bro. I'd love to hear your stories. I'd love to hear what you've been through.
Man, I'm actually curious now. I don't think it is. I think she's from Australia or from Tanzania. It might either be one of those. Fisho, thank you for joining us, my friend. It's nice to have you here. How are you doing? Nice. Meltmore, how come not only you are handsome, but you have handsome friends too? So something that was curious to me, like this is something that was said yesterday. So this dude mentions that when a soul incarnates into this reality, sometimes the soul is too powerful. So it has to be fractured into a bunch of smaller souls, and then those smaller souls embody different human beings. And then those human beings can encounter one another, and as a result of those encounters, recognize a part of themselves that would be closer to themselves than anything other in the universe.
I think we're butt fuck ugly. To be honest, I think we are hit the bottom of the barrel, bro. And I'm obviously like just playing around and making jokes and shit like that, but no, dude, I think everyone has their own beauty, and they just have to embrace it. Like that's what, in my eyes, defines a beautiful person, is someone that is comfortable within their own skin.
Dude, not even just that, but comfortable with the person they are with.
And you can see that they love who they are.
Exactly.
You can see that they do not mind a single bit of who they are. Every little flaw or things normal society considers to be visually appealing. So I think that's honestly the trick, is people are ugly because they're not looking after themselves. Not really. Even a hot person becomes very goddamn ugly the second bullshit starts coming out of their mouth. They don't even, no matter how physically attractive they can be, if your soul is coming out of those pores in that body,
It's very clear.
you ain't gonna survive in this world. People are waking up. People are waking up and they are realizing things. If I am doing it, others are too.
Like Toasty is actually a big fan, if you will, or speaker of just abolishing body norms, dude.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous that we have ingrained this within ourselves. That this is
What's expected, what a real man
The way
is
forward.
supposed to look like, what a real woman is supposed to look like. We're all fucking real.
we're supposed to be highly intelligent, scientific, hypothesis creating, limitless imagination creatures. And we are like so judgy.
And we collapse into these single
on the
understandings.
physical body. We're like, I like her curvy and nice big boobs.
The only reason that health or like physical body should be taken into consideration or value.
And that's another sorry.
It's out of physical exercise for yourself. If you train for yourself because you want to be physically fit, that's the reason that you do that.
Here's the counter argument to everything I just said, though. Like you said, you can see when someone is exercising.
Yeah, it's true.
Therefore, i.e., looking after themselves and making sure that they are. You can see the ones that are doing it for physical appearance, and you can see the ones that are actually just doing it for health. One way or another, you can tell these things.
It's the best anti-aging drug we have as well. Exercise.
Guys, exercise.
The
Please.
best
For
anti-aging
the
drug.
love of all that's good for you out there in the world.
And
Exercise.
like, listen
Start
to what we're saying as
today.
well. We're not saying
every day.
look a certain way, get this body. That's not what we're saying. Just exercise.
I don't give a fuck how you look
Doesn't
or
matter.
how you're going to look.
Doesn't matter at all.
As long as you are moving your body and you are pumping that blood, that youth while you have it, because it will go away. Use it as much as you can to push it to its limits. See where it can go.
Yeah.
You only have this thing,
Like
as most people on this planet now say, once.
And you would surprise yourself how strong you actually are. Actually,
The things you can actually do
it's
if you just put
bamboozling.
in the effort.
Love isn't enough, but it should be. What's love got to do with it?
Do with it.
What's love got to do with
What's
it? Love got to do with it. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Red.
Thank you, Tina Turner.
Tina Turner has joined the chat. If you do not resolve issues and adjust and change to fix your companion's needs, even then it's not enough. You're completely right, Red. Completely. Tina Turner. Atlantis. Atlantis is a real place. Let's not even get into that.
We don't know.
conversation. We don't know, Lord. We don't know. But this person, not
I pride myself in my ignorance.
But
So
so okay, and that, just that, us priding ourselves in our ability to not know shit, you know, and then kind of like giving our power over to like, I don't fucking know. Then we meet people that claim to be from Atlantis, to look you dead in the eye and be like, yes, I've lived multiple lives in Atlantis, and now here I am living with you in this time. It feels like you're assuming / believing things that are so far away from our fundamental reality that's a little bit, it's jarring.
as far as you know, you could have been a duck.
Could have been a duck.
Could have been a duck.
Could have just been a duck. I took the vaccine, the booster, so we are both doomed. Yep, your soul is officially no longer a part of your body, right? And thank you for joining us, Meld Lord. It's nice to have you. Avril lived there for a while. They didn't have knives and forks. Did you even consider your soul before this encounter? Did you even consider? Yes. Yes. Before the encounter we had last night, did I ever consider my soul? What do you think, Christian? You think I've ever considered my soul?
No.
Yeah, probably not before.
Never.
Yeah. Last night,
No.
instantly awakened, maybe. For the first time, considered what soul is.
I think people are actively considering it from the day they are born.
Yeah, I don't think you ever stop.
I think kids are considering it from the moment they understand the concept. The moment we explain, we even give them this notion, even just like stuttering it somewhere in the back. It's like, yes, and then there's also the soul. And then they're like, what's a soul? And you're like, oh shit. I shouldn't have said it.
Dude, what I'm curious about now is what would happen if you just don't?
They will continue to believe that they are going to die and cease to exist and be okay with it.
Yeah. I mean, then you're going into the materialist understanding of the worldview, which I get as well. Lol, what? Toasty. I'm guessing you're lol wanting to the did I ever consider soul before? Like, lol what? Yeah, I know, Toasty. It's funny, dude. Civil discourse always, always. He actually cared about you to tell you it's what he believed. I believe that as well, Red Liquor, and that's the fundamental reason we were happy to be there and we appreciated the time that we spent there. We wouldn't undo it. But
It was fascinating to
It
talk
was,
to
yeah.
these people. It
it's
was
educational almost.
uplifting and it was cool to see adults at their age saying things like that. I mean, sure, in some ways it can be seen as scary, but it was also cool to see that some of them are doing what they can to change things for the better. That's their intention, at least. The intention is
They want to see things change.
to help others,
Mm.
to uplift others, to bring us back to a wondrous golden age of not confining people's freedom.
Yeah.
That they made that their main point. They were like, we want freedom.
Yeah, and with that, fundamentally, I do actually agree. Like, human autonomy needs to be sustained no matter what. He actually cared. Civil discourse always. You mean Dinglehopper? I don't know what that means. True that these words are pretty. Stop it, Shelly. Thank you, though. For real. Stop it. For real, Fred has dreamy eyes for sure. There's blue ones. I agree, actually. Passes universal blunt at the chat. Mouth Lord, our blunt has been smonked, but thank you so much for passing us another one.
No.
The Harry Potter Australian from the Yugoslavia or Australian, but from Yugoslavia originally.
I told you.
You were right
I
though.
was close.
Christian is fucking super
Yugoslavia.
clever.
Yugoslavia is like pretty close to Bulgaria. Or is it in Bulgaria? God, I don't remember my geography.
Can you hit it with a rock? Take universal hit passes universal blunt. Christian, take the universal blunt though. Very good. Thank you, friends. Agree. Like friends, we should probably end the stream soonish. Ish, ish, ish. Thank you so much for joining us. We're gonna go and fucking exercise.
Mahalo, guys.
Appreciate you sharing this time with us. I never said that to my son. I asked him when he wakes up. Shelly, what did you ask him? Jovan said, I find beauty in the way people communicate, the way they move their faces when expressing things, the words they use, of the visual and they help to, and the visuals they help to create. Beauty goes so much deeper than skin. Christian is, in fact, a wild animal. Agree about beauty. Assholes even look up. Demonor is beautiful. Australian, but Yugoslavian originally. My friends, I appreciate you so much. Snap, snap, snap. I got the like scene now with Doug. The soulless Doug. Don't forget the soulless. I never said that to my son. I'd ask him when he wakes up. I think that's a good thing to do as well, Shelly. That way he can come and teach you even. Yeah, I agree. Like he can come and teach you. You don't have to teach him anything. He can find that understanding for himself and come to you with that information. I agree and accept, celebrate, encourage that behavior as well. Friends, genuinely thank you eternally for joining me in this space. I look forward to seeing you all again tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone. Bye, my friends.